If you've ever peeked into an edit suite, you've seen it. Someone surrounded by computer screens, lost to time. That person is either a teenager watching a movie and texting friends, or a film or video editor, in this case, an editor. But what are they really doing in there? That's the question we'll answer today. Just like a craftsman shapes raw materials into beautiful pieces of furniture, so an editor takes raw elements and crafts a compelling story. Editors work with hours of raw materials, cutting away the rough edges to find the right story. And like all craftsmen, the documentary film editor follows a unique process. In this episode, I want to give you an overview of that process. But before we begin, it will help you to understand one term that you're going to hear over and over again, and that is cut. To cut just means to edit or splice. And even though editors don't physically cut film anymore in that same way, the term is still used today. Now, with that as a background, let's look at what a video editor really does. Selecting the story. Just like a craftsman carefully selects the right materials, so too editors always begin by getting acquainted with their material or content. With a documentary film editor, much of that content comes in the form of interviews. All documentaries begin and end with the story. That's why this stage of the edit is often called the story cut, because it's here that the editor discovers and selects the stories that are cut into the film. Shaping the story. One characteristic of a great editor is their ability to determine which stories work best, because there's never just one story. So at this point in the process, the editor continues to shape and refine those stories with an eye toward timing, pace, and feel. Finding the right story can be difficult. Maybe that's why this stage is also called the rough cut, because this is where the editor begins to rough in and shape that story. Finalizing the story. By now, the editor has spent days, weeks, or even months with the film. He intimately knows the characters and their stories, and it's through that knowledge that he can now begin the finishing touches or the final cut. Here, the editor uses techniques like ripple, slip, slide, or roll to make sure everything is where it needs to be. Here, edits are measured not in hours, minutes, or seconds, but in frames. And there are as many as 60 frames in every second. But to the editor, and especially now, every frame matters, because at the end of this stage, the film will be locked, which means after this, nothing will move, video or audio. Then and only then can the story be finalized. Polishing the story. Now that the picture has been locked, the editor uses his last two tools, the nuance of color and sound, to polish the story to perfection. The goal here is to eliminate anything that draws the viewer's attention away from the story. Here, audio clips are mixed into a seamless soundtrack, and color is used to enhance the tone and mood of the scene. This is where the film is polished to perfection, so that the story can shine. From selecting and shaping to finalizing and polishing, that's what a video editor does. And that's why editors are a blend of craftsman, storyteller, and technician. Editors are a unique breed of artists who work with pixels instead of wood, marble, or stone. It takes more than just a computer and software to be an editor. It takes a patient craftsman to find, develop, and polish your story. That's what editors do.